hard for me to say I'm sorry, I just can't let you go. We've been memes and midnight dreams and common thread, a rodeo. From shaky cams to live stream jams, we laughed until we cried. So how'd we go from LOL forever to fine? I'll say goodbye. We built a vibe in pixels, yeah, a patchwork kinda home, where typos turned to punchlines and no one laughed alone. You say it's time to log off, pack it up, move on. But wait, your seat's still warm, your theme song's still on. Don't go, slow your roll, hear the rhythm in your chest. No shade thrown, no stones, known this place still knows you best. Don't go, hit pause, not exit, stay a minute more. Drop anchor in the chaos, we got laughter to restore. No need to take offense where none was ever given. Stay the course, we're all just trying to make a little living. Don't go, don't vanish in the scroll. We're better when you're in it, yeah, you're part of this whole. After all the bits and glitches, the filters and the flops, you taught us how to dance through every algorithm drop. Now you're drafting up a farewell like it's carved in stone. But darling, this ain't Shakespeare, no need for a monologue tone. Social media's a circus with a megaphone and fog. 244 character, that's barely a thought log. Context gets compressed till it's thinner than a thread. Then boom, misread, misfed, and suddenly we dread. No need to take umbrage, no need for a disguise. We can trade the hot takes for a little compromise. Don't go, hit pause, not exit, stay a minute more. Send a note, a real one, we can open up the door. No need for safe spaces when we're safe in how we listen. We can turn the volume down and still keep the music. Listen, don't go, don't fold, don't pack up your control. We're better when you're in it, yeah, you're part of this whole. No dramatic exit music, no confetti for the leave. No need to post a curtain call like this is me, I grieve. Just pull up a chair, grab a snack, stay weird, stay bright. We'll debug the drama, keep the good and code it right. We've got room for messy, for the oops and my bad, for the spicy little takes that don't have to end mad. You're not just a username drifting out in the blue. You're the laugh in the lag and we're not done with you. Don't go, hit pause, not exit. Hear the crowd in your name. We're a patchwork of the imperfect, that's the heart of the game. No need to take offense where none was ever given. We're all just learning out loud, figuring out this living. Don't go, stay close, let the moment take its toll. We're better when you're in it, yeah, you're part of this whole. So don't go just yet, let the thread breathe, no regrets. Stay a while, enjoy the show. We're still better with you here, you know.
Hey folks, welcome back. It's Thursday night, April 9th, 2026. How y'all doing? Didn't get to my taxes again tonight. Gonna have to get to that over the weekend, I guess. Been a long night. I just returned from the Veterans Organization, and a bit of news. My water bill came in. Not pleased with that. $250. Oof, $240. I have to pay that. That's coming up. And the Veterans Organization was reelected tonight unanimously to be the commander for another year. So after 3 years, got reelected tonight. So that was interesting. So that was earlier this evening, and we had lots of meetings. We had to hand out some disciplinary actions again tonight, unfortunately. This is a memorandum for the state convention, okay? June. It takes place in June. It's out near Pittsburgh. I think I'll go to it in June. Okay. Doubletree, Pittsburgh Cranberry. Okay, maybe I'll go out there again. All right. So, how y'all doing? Sorry, I'm trying to clear my throat. Sorry, that's kind of loud. Doesn't sound very good, does it? Thank you. Well, it's a poison chalice. That's a huge task to take this on. But there was a move by some folks to unseat the current leadership after claims that they could be better at running the organization. They were very obstinate and difficult people. And they just didn't bother showing up the last few months because they didn't get their way, which proved it wasn't about doing the thing that's best for veterans. It was about what was interesting for them. So thank you all. Appreciate the congratulations. Approval letter. That was previously Elik that came in earlier. Saw that. Okay, let me say hello to everybody. It's Night Owls. At T. Drexen, welcome to you. Emerald City Refugee, AJ Quinn, Tiki Keiser, Nadine, Mandy van Ryan, Zeus Motion, CBB's back again. And who else we got? Urethra's here, Charles Van Onselen, Loretta, Chippy, Gideon Maloney, Cecilia Kruger, Pat Meister, Merlin, Jan Kipasat, welcome to you. Ronell Lowe, hello Ronell. Alex is in Ohio, invited me up to a Indians baseball game, thank you for that. Urethra and Winnie Gen X, hello to you. JSA, hello. What else we got here? Petrus von der Linden, Donnie, Alex. I did get the tickets today. I have 4. Hold 1. I may have someone that may be traveling with me, okay? Thank you for getting 4, okay? Just hold 1 so you just have 1 spare one for FG, okay? Thank you. Crap, scary being on a farm alone now without power for 6 hours already. Emotionally getting to me here. Sorry to hear that, Loretta. Hang in there. Okay. Tailfinder, hello. Debbie Ackerman's back. Safa Loading, Jules S.A. East Coast Ostrich. Mental Chewing Gum is back. Good to see you again. Amazing Yacht Destinations is in again from Thailand. I met a Thai colonel today. He was asking me if I was doing online education when I was getting ready for my broadcast. I said, no, I do the news every day. He was fascinated by it. He was on a break from his war college class and one of the international officers. So, Northgard, hello to you. Melanie's Heron. Okay, I'm going to do something very quickly here because I want to prove a point. Let's see if I want to see something here very quickly. Okay, let me zoom out. Okay, let me go in here. Okay. So, just for those geographically challenged, who told me I was wrong earlier, but they used the wrong terminology. I would agree with the terminology, but their statement was incorrect. People told me today that I was wrong when I said that Brockenfell is east of Cape Town. All right? Let me show you a geographic map. Here's Cape Town. There's the CBD right there. Okay? That's Cape Town. Go east. Paro, Belleville, Brockenfell. Okay? North of Cape Town, north of that N1 highway is Century City, Milnerton, Durbanville, Blobergstrand, Parklands. That is north. Brockenfell is east, almost directly, is slightly elevated. Part of it's actually directly east. So there you go. There you go. For those of you geographically challenged. Now, people amended that and said it is in the northern suburbs. I'll accept that. That is colloquially what it's known as, but that's not what the statement was. It was said it was north of Cape Town, not north of Cape Town. Iserfontein is north of Cape Town. Rian, welcome to you. Okay. Thank you, Elmarie. Okay. Hello, Ingrid. What's going on? Charissa, welcome to you. Yves Lombard, Meerkat, Vodka Model. Oh, I was reelected as commander of the Veterans Organization tonight. Thank you. That's what they're congratulating me for. Okay. Thank you, Jurathra. Mandy van Ryan. Any other congratulations I missed? Sleep is basically non-existent. Mind will switch off, body won't rest, running on fumes. Well, that's not good, Heinrich. You wear out. News 24, Ron Pussy's pod signals. I saw that. Yeah, Ramen Post is full of it. It's utter nonsense. There's no effort to improve relations with the U.S. None of the points that the U.S. put on the table. There's no effort, no intention by the ANC disavow that killed the Boer. There's no effort by the ANC to stop its persecution of racial minorities. So nothing's going to happen. Melanie's Herod says, you're correct, from Brockenfell. Thank you. Joe Emilio lives there. Vanessa Blossom, welcome to you. Thank you for the songs last night. Congratulations, Ronell says. Okay, thank you very much for that. Alrighty, so I just want to make that point. Robben Island is north of Cape Town, in the water, but it's north of Cape Town. So welcome to everybody. We are tantalizingly close to 125,000 subscribers. That's a number I've been hoping to achieve for a while, but we have been stagnant, and the last couple of days have really frozen up. YouTube is really making us struggle to get to the 125,000. Let me take a look and see. So we have been at 124,000 since March 13th. Almost a month, and we haven't gained 1,000 subscribers. Wow. Yeah, Margate is called the South Coast, but it's on the East Coast. You're correct about Jaretha, but that's because it's the South Coast for people who are up country. You get it? That's why it's south to them. Heinrich says, as long as I know where Brockenfell is. Well, as long as I can find Monenberg. Yeah, we really stagnated for the last couple months. 3 months ago, we were at 120,000. In 3 months, we haven't gained. We've gained 3,000 or 4,000. Yeah. So, yep. Anyway, Veroska is in Pennsylvania. I did see your message that you were in France. By the way, my views are up again. It's 1.3 million now, but apparently I'm desperate for views, if you can believe that. Anyway, so how did my viewers find the content? Let's take a look at that. I'm using the AI. The studio is telling me the way they found my content. A little slow response tonight. Browse features 59%, suggested videos 13%, notifications 6.6%. That's not good. Since most of your views come from browse, your thumbnails and titles are doing a great job of grabbing attention on the homepage. Keep experimenting with high contrast visuals to maintain the strong performance. They say that nearly 13% of my traffic is coming from suggestions. YouTube is successfully recommending your content alongside similar videos. You can boost this by using descriptive titles and keyword-rich descriptions while I do that. 6.6% of views from notifications shows you have a dedicated core audience who wants to see your content the moment it drops. Engaging with them in the comments shortly after post helps sustain the initial momentum. Okay, that's good advice. Okay, so let's read the next one. Jill's got a notification. Okay, Veroshka, are you in Harrisburg? If you don't mind me asking. Okay, new viewers down 20% from the previous period. Oh, I guess I am desperate for views. That's 20% of my unique viewers are new viewers. Okay, returning viewers 194,000. Total unique viewers 256,000, down just 5% for the month. So, yep. Okay. And let's see how my latest video is doing. Yeah, you're right. Putting on notifications usually runs between 5 and 15%. It's usually not more than that. For a long time, I was at 20%, a long time ago. Have I been to Bolito? Yes, Shepsfoot. I have been to Bolito. I held a meet and greet in Bolito last time. In fact, she's not here tonight. But Nicole is from Bolito, and she's frequently on here. Ceasefire. Okay. Click-through rate significantly higher than your typical average. Okay. There was a brief moment of technical troubleshooting right at the beginning of the stream where you had to adjust the camera and orientation while your audience is loyal. Some new viewers may drop off. Well, that's because you idiots at YouTube don't start the camera properly. I want to say they're saying they're coming up to Gansbaai from Gauteng, but look at the map. They're coming down to Gansbaai from the coast. Exactly. Okay. You need to ask if anyone in the White Army is looking for a place to stay. Clan William area, then I might have a bit more security thing. Oh, well, that's a good idea, Loretta. If someone needs a place to stay, you've got a place to stay in Clan William. That's a good point, Loretta. Okay. You know, I keep forgetting things like I organized a Steve Hofmeyer concert tour for someone. I keep forgetting about that. If you take the mountain away from Cape Town, they're lost in a direction. That's true. All right, so I think I've caught up with that now. All right, no, I don't know. My next 2 trips are now being organized, and that includes Ohio and northwestern Pennsylvania. Weekend after this one, the next weekend, and then that weekend after that, I'm down to Virginia. So I'm not sure. I'll have to look at the map. And look, I've got a New England, Florida trip also planned. Great, I want to go to the USA. What's like Bolito? Santa Cruz. Yep. Santa Cruz, California is probably like Bolito. Not my cup of tea, though. 78 advance will lead the U.S. negotiating. Do you think anything will come? No, the Iranians have already violated. There's no ceasefire. The Iranians have continued the war. They've shut down the straits. They have fired missiles into UAE. They have attacked Kuwait. They have attacked Israel. There is no ceasefire. They attacked Saudi Arabia. They're just reprobates. So I wouldn't expect anything to come from it. My Stolen Ground video is doing better than I expected because my videos have been performing poorly lately, but that one's at almost 15,000. So, yeah, actually got dislikes on it. What the hell is wrong with people? Why would you dislike that video about Joe? Yeah. Yep. Anyway, that's a good video that Joe did. Oh, so why would you dislike my video promoting it? Fluffy Naval, haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. But we're 6 subscribers from 125,000. Wow, so close. You went to school in Clan William in 1980. You're giving away your age. Yes, I've been to Bolito. In fact, that's in my song. I put Bolito in my song. Are you ever home relaxing, Colonel? Rarely, Winnie. Rarely. I mean, so here's my day today, in case you're curious. This morning, from 7 to 7:30, I was in a teleconference with a UK filmmaker who wants to film South African refugees in the United States. So I'm trying to make that happen. He'll fund my trip either to Atlanta or to South Dakota to meet with refugees that I'm trying to arrange. So if you're in the Atlanta area and you would like in June to participate in this project, now there's no gotcha. This guy is objective. He's trying to film stuff and he sells his content to news outlets and then they use the content, but they can't alter it. So it'll be what he produces. So if you want to he's from South Africa, but he lives in the UK. If you want to participate, let me know. In the Atlanta area or in Iowa, South Dakota area, let me know. And we'll try to work something out. And Omaha, Nebraska, try to potentially work out something there in June. He wants to be in Atlanta to cover the Springboks. Bafana's game there against Czech Republic, I think it is, on the 18th of June or thereabouts. All right, so hey, Ben Mulder, long time no see. Good to see you again. So I'm working on that. So that was 7 to 7:30. From 7:30 to 8 o'clock, I was interviewed for Biz News, which I haven't seen yet. And then it was a little bit after 8 when I finished. I showered quickly. I left, went to work, got to work. None of the computers were working properly again. I had to get it sorted, and then it turns out that they turned my account off 30 days of not being at the War College, which is stupid. And when they turned it back on, I didn't have a license for Microsoft anymore, so I can't use Office on the computers. I can only use it through Teams, and then it doesn't work properly. So then we tried to use the IR infrared receivers to advance the slides. What we do is we set up 2 big screens in front of the room. On the left-hand side is the same brief as on the right-hand side. However, on the left-hand side, all the even number slides are hidden, and on the right-hand side, all the odd number slides. No, I'm sorry. All the odd numbers here, all the even numbers there. So, all the even numbers and all the odd numbers, yeah. So what you do is you start on the left-hand side, you put slide 1. On the right-hand side, you start with slide 2. And then everyone will be even there, jumping to the next one. Here will be all odd. So you go 1 and 2, and 3 and 5, 6 and 7, 8 and 9, like that. So you go through it like that. So, so that's how you do it. And the infrared receivers, one is hooked up to one laptop, the other one's hooked up to another laptop. And so you have a little pointer, you push it, and you can advance them or you can go backwards. But when I hooked it up this morning, they weren't working. One was hooked up to a classified network. I had to disconnect it and hook up the receiver to the correct computer. Then, because I didn't have the software, I was running it through the cloud, and I would click the one on the left, which was on the computer, but the other one wasn't. It was in the cloud, and then I would advance one, the other one. So suddenly I have like number 6 and 14, and it's all out of whack. Anyway, and we have 4 different courses we have to do this to. So we have 8 different slide decks that have to be arranged. And then somehow they got converted from 9:16 back to this stupid, like this, like 1980s format. So these big screen TVs that you see like this here, okay, that was all wasted from there over, and from here it was all wasted. So all you were seeing is the crap in the middle right here. And it was a mess. So we had to go back and change all the slides and hope that it didn't deform the graphics and the maps we had into 9:16. Anyway, I didn't get my license taken care of. Fortunately, it came through quickly because it can take up to 24 hours. They got my license reinstated for Microsoft Office, and I was able to do all this after lunch, and we got it all working. So now it's all working. So what a day. I left there, and I went to a housing complex, an apartment complex in a town nearby me, not too far away, where the VFW is located. Also, I talked to somebody tonight with potential, his company has jobs available, good paying jobs, for Botman up in Erie. And they were supposed to be up until 5, and the sign when I got there said they closed at 3, but they did have a rental agreement, so I grabbed a rental agreement. I came back home, I changed, went to the veterans meeting. The first meeting was at 5:30 to 6:30, second meeting was 6:30 to 7:30, and the third meeting was from 7:30, it's supposed to be over at 8:30, we ended at 9. And then I took care of some more business. The Veterans Organization came home at 10:20, 1 hour ago, roughly, and then set up the stream for the morning, then looked up some of the opinion pieces about John Steenhuisen, and then I'm here with you guys now. Well, I can only get it sorted, Ingrid, because I understand IT, and also I've done this many times, so I know what the problem is. My colleague is doing it for the first time. He was hired to do this, and when we did it in October, we came for the first week of preparation. Then there's a couple weeks break, and then you do the last week of preparation, and then the execution. Well, the government was shut down, so we came. There was nobody around. It was just the two of us working on it all by our lonesome, under a little bit of guidance when a guy came in his time off, and then because the contractors still get paid, there's a contract the government has to continue through, but the government workers don't get paid, so they get sent home. So we were there by ourselves. And then normally we would have done the second 2 weeks in October. That was in September. But unfortunately, they were still in shutdown. So we never did the 2 weeks, and I lost 2/3 of my income because we didn't work those 2 weeks. It was a nice break for me, though, so I didn't mind. And my colleague now has not done this yet. He would have done it the first time in October. Now here he is trying to do it the first time. We've had nothing but computer problems. And because they built the new building and didn't put space in there to do classified briefings, they're doing it in our building next to it. Well, there's only a couple rooms in the ground and the basement floor, and they keep taking our rooms. People are scheduling. So we lost all afternoon this afternoon, couldn't use the second room because each of us work in a room adjacent to each other. They were doing classified briefings, so we lost that room. Yesterday, we lost my room for half the day. And then on Tuesday, we lost his room. It's just for the whole day. It's just insane. This is not how it's supposed to work. And it's causing, thankfully, I've done this, so it's not causing me any stress. But my colleague, he's not stressing, but I feel for him because this isn't how it's supposed to work. Floppies, stiffies, and even CD-ROMs were more tangible, and everything is somewhere in the clouds, and it sucks. Of course, you get sorted, Chris. You're clever for someone. Thank you, Ingrid. Biz News does have a video post 12 hours ago with your face on the thumbnail about Iran. I don't know if that's the video you meant. That's what I'm talking about, Jules. Yep. And so tomorrow, I'll go to bed now after this, after midnight. I haven't eaten since lunch. I did get a sandwich at lunchtime, but I did get some Maryland crab soup from the Veterans Organization, brought it home cold. I'll heat that up when this is done, assuming I don't check any email or I don't do any WhatsApp or I don't try to work on my taxes, assuming that's the case. I'll heat it up. I'll put the TV on for a little bit, and I'll fall asleep, only to get up at 6 o'clock, and at 7:30 I'm interviewing Ruben, who's from South Africa. He's one of the aspirants who's growing frustrated about not being processed to come over here. So I will deal with that and do that interview. When I'm done that, I'll leave, I'll go work, and I'll be at the War College. And it starts all over again tomorrow. Broken Arrow, I'm not old. I am 39, okay? Winnie says, I just get tired listening today. That's 7 days a week, folks. 7 days a week, that's what I do. And I'm taking care of refugees. I'm helping South Africans. I'm helping Americans. That's what I do, man. Is it Debbie's birthday? I didn't see that. Can't be fixed, but there's much time. Annoys me, annoying. Well, I've got a drive that failed on my external hard drive. I need the date off it. It sucks. Just another for the kernel. Yep. So Debbie has a birthday. I didn't see that, so I'll put it up anyway and take your word that it's her birthday. Okay, where's the cake at? There you go. Happy birthday. Everyone's scared of Oklahoma. I'm not scared of Oklahoma. Been there before. Information overload. My goodness, Chris. Yep. Feel like a woman. Confused. Oh, Heinrich, you're not going to get... Hey, Linus saying, what's up in Windhoek? You're not going to win any contest with ladies. Rory Pike is back. Good to see you there. Okay. Tickets to fly to land at a place called Strawberry Farms. Okay, Sally. That's a dream, okay. Daughter sent video clip, grandson chasing a duck, and then duck turns chasing him. Okay, Loretta, I haven't seen that. Let me see. I didn't see anything from you. Okay. Okay, I got the wrong Loretta here. I don't have anything from you. All I have is the air stairs. I got the wrong Loretta. Get my WhatsApp. Okay. Happy birthday. There you go. That's off. Okay. Cool. Happy birthday, Demi. Arnold's 18 till he's done with this. Yeah, I hear you. I understand that. Appreciate. Whoa, what happened here? Oh, something uploaded here. YouTube downloader uploaded. I didn't even give permission to do that. Nasty. All right. So where are we at? Eves Lombard is here. I didn't see that. Meerkat's here. Okay. Oh, you haven't sent it. Okay. Well, I'm like, okay. Must be another Loretta. I thought that was you. Okay. Yep. Cool beans. All right. Let's take a look at some of the news. It's not a news broadcast, but I put it up. Heading home, the riskiest part of the mission for Artemis is upcoming. You thought it was the launch, like on a Roman candle going up in the sky. Well, so did I. But apparently the splashdown is the change. The issue, 3,000 degrees, apparently, is what the heat shield's going to deal with. The riskiest part of the Artemis 2 moon mission is still ahead. Look at that picture there. That's incredible. That was an image of a crescent Earth setting on the moon's limb. That is incredible. Look at that. Unbelievable. Artemis 2 astronauts have faced numerous dangers on their historic moon mission, including white-knuckling through liftoff as the rocket burned through millions of gallons of fuel and braving perilous fields of radiation en route to the moon. But perhaps the most daunting milestone lies ahead, re-entry. Yes. 5,000 degrees. I thought it was 4,000. During this phase, the astronaut's spacecraft comes roaring toward Earth and dips back into a thick inner band of our planet's atmosphere while traveling at more than 30 times the speed of sound. The process causes a violent compression of air molecules that can heat the capsule's exterior to more than 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit, 2,760 degrees Celsius. I'll be honest and say I've actually been thinking about entry since April 3rd when we got assigned this mission, said Artemis 2 astronaut Victor Glover about re-entry. Yeah. Yeah, one of the most dangerous, if not the most precarious step of returning from space. There's NASA's Orion capsule drawn to a well deck. The U.S.'s port after splashdown following the Artemis 1 moon mission. Yep. Returned home safely in one piece, but the damage raised questions about how well engineers understood the material used to create this hardware called Avcoat, and how it behaves during a dangerous and dynamic final phase of flight. Yep. Problem came to light after the uncrewed Artemis 1 test flight around the moon in 2022, after which the mission teams found the capsule's heat shield had returned with concerning pockmarks and cracking. A heat shield is a crucial piece of hardware designed to protect it from extreme temperatures. Yep. Pretty crazy. So that's when it splashed down, the Orion 1, which was unmanned. So they had a heat shield problem. So now we're concerned about the heat shield. And Artemis is coming back. Oof. When do they touch down? When does Artemis splash down? Splash down. There you go. It is supposed to splash down Friday at 5:07 Pacific Daylight Time. So 8 o'clock tomorrow night is supposed to splash down. So I'll see if it's going to be covered by NASA, and maybe I'll cover that tomorrow night. Okay, that keeps me busy again tomorrow. Okay, live coverage on NASA Plus, and NASA app, and on YouTube. 10-day mission is coming to an end. All right, cool beans. Moon base will be exciting. Moonraker. Ann Arbor, Michigan. University of Michigan. So Cyril Ramaphosa claims there are positive signs. Yes, thawing relations with the U.S. Dream on, buddy. Wow. President Ramaphosa signaled a push to reset strained relations with the U.S., backing plans by Washington's new envoy to boost America's corporate presence. The remarks made at the American Chamber of Commerce today come a day after Ramaphosa accepted Brent Bozell's credentials, a move that may help steady relations. I understand the ambassador wants to double the number of U.S. companies operating in South Africa. This is an ambition that we wholeheartedly support and that we hope to work together to achieve. Ramaphosa's conciliatory tone signaled renewed efforts to rebuild economic and diplomatic ties. Recently, we had several positive signals from the United States. He added how that was speaking with U.S. lawmakers and trade officials, including discussion around the renewal of AGOA. As we continue to work to strengthen economic ties, we're committed to rebuild political and diplomatic relations between our two countries. Yeah, there's a problem here. South Africa has not addressed any of Trump's demands, anything the U.S. has asked for. And there's still bills in Congress to sanction the ANC leaders. So good luck with that. Good luck with that. Hey, SA expats, what's going on? Yep. Anyway, so John Steenhuisen's last speech to the Democratic Alliance draws a standing ovation. And this news just in. Yeah. So. Ladies and gentlemen, earlier today, Thursday, April 9th, 2026, South African Police Service was called to the National Convention of the Democratic Alliance. Apparently, someone's been handing out happy pills, LSD, Quaaludes, and other illicit narcotics. Tick and Daga were found on the premises. It seems the entire DA delegation was intoxicated with illicit narcotics, forcing them to stand up and applaud the man who's destroyed their party. The man who had no courage, who brought Roman Kabanak into his team only to bail on him and treat him miserably. A man who didn't stand up for Ronaldo Khuz, a man who destroyed South Africa's cloven hoof industry. Sheep and cattle dying by the hundreds. The spread of foot-and-mouth disease while he slept on the job. The man who goes to Vietnam to sell stone fruit while allowing the relationship with the United States to collapse. Your white Minister of Agriculture, John Steenhuisen, received a rounding, standing ovation from the gathered masses of intoxicated Democratic Alliance members voting and appearing with John Steenhuisen. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for the one, the only, the legendary, yes and legend, John Stonefruit. Go, John. Go, John. Where's Roman? Go, John. Where's Roman? Yeah, okay, sure. John Steenhuisen, the man that single-handedly led the Democratic Alliance to a lower percentage of the vote. Well, a higher percentage, slightly, but a lower actual number. John Steenhuisen lost additional 100,000 DA voters. Even worse performance than Musi Maimani. It's John. I'm not Musi, but I perform worse than he did. Steenhuisen. Outgoing DA leader John Steenhuisen delivered his final speech at his final federal council as party leader this afternoon, received a standing ovation according to the sources in the room. What are these people drinking? The event takes place on the weekend of the party's federal council began sitting on Thursday, and it is here that the outgoing leader delivered his final address to delegates. And this raises a question inquiring minds want to know, folks. How long before Cyril Ramaphosa turns John, I can't pay my credit card bill, Steenhuisen, into an unemployed former cater? How long? How long before Steenhuisen doesn't have a job? Certainly his efforts at the Department of Agriculture have not warranted employment. Now that he no longer receives a paycheck or a credit card from the DA as its leader, will he be bounced on his ear? I doubt it. Ramaphosa loves incompetent ministers. Ronald Lamola, Angie Mocheka, Kumbudzo Ncheveni, a host of incompetents. Yep. According to party sources, Steenhuisen received a standing ovation for a speech in which he expressed gratitude for the trust the party had placed in him and pride in his accomplishments. Pride in his accomplishments? Losing 100,000 plus voters? Yeah. That's prideful? Yeah. Surrendering your principled stands on Bella, expropriation, the Business Equity Act, national health insurance, farm murders. You sold South Africans down the river. And you're proud of that. Well, I suppose you would be proud of those accomplishments. You shouldn't be, but you probably are. So was the DA's telecom, was it with broadcast? Let's see. Let's go to YouTube. Let's go to PooTube and see what comes up. YouTube. The Democratic Alliance. They're here. The Democratic Alliance. There's a media briefing. Let's hear that. Let's see what happened there. 38 minutes. Readiness briefing. Okay, I'm not going to play the music there. Delivering basics. Oh, you got to see this again. Let's go back. This is the DA's blitz here. Let's see what the DA's got going on. Here you go. Let's start it. All right, come on, come on. Oh, yeah. Getting South Africa working. The DA Federal Congress. Yeah. Fighting crime. Where? Rooting out corruption. What corruption is rooted out? Delivering basic services. Creating jobs. What jobs? No jobs created in South Africa. Getting South Africa working. These are aspirations, not accomplishments. The Federal Congress. There they are. There's the DA. Check that out, folks. Wow, getting all set up there, aren't they? Getting all set up. Here they come. Out to the stage. You recognize any of these people, for the most part.
At home. Thank you for joining us today as we prepare for the Democratic Alliance 2026 Federal Congress. We are confident that all preparations are complete and that this will be a seamless and successful Federal Congress.
Well, I hope so.
This will be the largest Congress in the party's history.
That's amazing.
With more than 2,000 delegates
Woo!
gathering from across the country for 2 days at the Gallagher Convention Center. This Congress marks a significant moment for the Democratic Alliance as we enter 2026 united, prepared, and ready to govern.
Wow.
Today's briefing will outline the readiness of Congress, the scale of the preparations, and the processes that will guide proceedings. It is very, very exciting to have the Congress kick off on the 11th and the 12th of April. And our logo is Get South Africa Working. That is our slogan, because the DA is ready to come together as a party to elect our leadership, discuss constitutional amendments, policy resolutions, unite behind a vision so that we can go out there and get South Africa working and getting the highest majorities in metros. I will now hand over to one of the presiding officers, Werner Horn.
Positions has been allocated. What then must also be understood is that our federal constitution determines that no fewer than 45% of all delegates must represent branches, so that would mean they may not be public representatives of the party. So if you do the rough calculations, and now I'm possibly going to show my 30%.
Empty words.
Where's the change they used to show? Protest rise,
provides for proportionally representativity from all the provinces, a number of MPs, MPLs, councillors, there's the 3 levels of government, non-public members, which is very important, as well as all our ancillary bodies, which includes, and the Federal Finance Chair, of course, which we included also, and those bodies include our students' organisation,
in terms of your federal chair, deputies, how many people are vying for those positions?
Okay, I think we are happy to maybe take one or more questions, so that some of these questions. All right. Can I maybe direct the first question in relation to federal council? Put it to you, David, and then give over the question around disputes, as well as different candidates standing for out with this particular issue. Desiree van der Walt to then speak on that, and then I will then close for us after that. Desiree?
All right. Well, thank you from the DA's press conference, from the federal conference there. Yeah, John Steenhuisen got a standing ovation at his final speech for the Democratic Alliance. Congratulations, John. Congratulations. Yep. Now, I have to say that there's actually something that's accurate here. Let me find it. So, Ryan Smith, his former chief of staff, not Roman Kabanak, who he abandoned and bailed on. He offered the guy a job. He gave up his business at Morning Shot, surrendered his business, and went to work for John Steenhuisen, who betrayed him quicker than a $2 whore on the streets of Sunnyside. Yep, quicker than a $2 whore. Yep. John Steenhuisen betrayed Roman Kabanak lickety-split, and he couldn't stand by his decision to support the man that he cost his business when he offered him a job. So Ryan Smith, busy being a sycophant, said John Steenhuisen is the leader who made us hope again. He made us believe in the DA again. He made us believe that South Africa could and would be better because of the Democratic Alliance. So those of you who think that there are hopeless idiots who believe anything Donald Trump says, look no further than Democratic Alliance. This guy is so far up his butt. Wow. I vividly remember being asked to come to the office of the DA's parliamentary leader in the Marx building in early January 2020. Just 3 months prior, the party's former leader had walked out of the job, and into the vacuum created by this vacancy, many a smug analysis of the DA's death poured in. The feeling was that the party was hopeless and astray. Well, the party is astray. It has no moral moorings. It has no morality. It has no spine, and it backs off of every promise it makes. It's betrayed all of its voters over and over again. Yep. The feeling was the party was hopeless and astray. Well, it was. At the time, I was working for the DA in the Western Cape Legislature as the party's head of media and research. That was until John Steenhuisen made me a proposal in the parliamentary leader's office. Would you like to be my chief of staff? A question he asked of Roman Kabanak before he betrayed him. I knew this was the kind of political opportunity one would be stupid to turn down, but it came with a proviso. I need someone to help fix the DA. You didn't fix the DA. You got 100,000 less votes than Musi Maimani got. Embarrassing is what you did. And that is precisely what his tenure's federal leader demanded of him. Steenhuisen is the only leader in the party's post-democratic history who inherited the DA in worse shape than the leader before him. Well, unfortunately, that is going to be true for Jordan Hill Lewis, who will inherit a party worse off than his predecessor found it. Yep. In 2014, the DA was a party with solid machinery, coffers flush with cash, a strong identity, and boundless potential. What Steenhuisen inherited was a DA with broken machinery, empty coffers, growing ideological incoherence, and the echo of the media droning death knell. The position of federal leader had gone from coveted to dreaded. Nobody wanted the job, but no, that's not true. Steenhuisen desperately wanted this job, and he competed for others who wanted it. Not content with sitting back and accepting the status quo or a narrative concocted by colonists and editorials, John Steenhuisen still believed in the DA. More importantly, he knew that South Africa needed the Blue Party more than ever. And embarking on the process of resuscitate the DA was more than just repair of a political party. It was a duty of existential proportion for South Africa's democracy. So I took the job. Nobody knew if the DA could be rescued. Many openly reveled in our demise, but Steenhuisen had put together his team of believers, and so we began the process to fix the DA. Steenhuisen's vision of the party was simple, but deeply profound. Every member, regardless of rank, was an activist first. All positions would be contested or filled fairly and based on merit. The DA would swallow a good spoonful of cement to solidify the wobbly blue jelly that became our principles and ideology. Excuse me? Ryan Smith? The wobbly blue jelly that became your principles and ideology? I'm sorry. Bella. Where are you on Bella? Expropriation of that compensation, the evisceration and destruction of South Africa. Silent. You're in the government. National health insurance. Silent. Employment Equity Act. Silent. Farm murders. Silent. Once upon a time, you stood up against all these things in opposition. But then this man claims to have led you into coalition. We all know that it was not actually him. It was actually Helen Zille and none other than the former leader, Tony Leon. Yep. He fixed fuck all. That's what he fixed in the Democratic Alliance. He simply put a plaster over a gaping wound. And the wound grew because the plaster wasn't up to the task. Wow. What's that? And we would moor ourselves securely back in the dock of liberalism. Yeah, see, they're a leftist center party. We were armed and ready with Steenhuisen's back to basics approach when South Africa confronted its first case of COVID. Back to basics. You didn't fight against COVID. You ran a couple of court cases, but you did nothing. You did nothing to stop the evisceration of personal liberties and freedoms. With the help of our federal marketing team and some repurposed furniture collected from around our head office, we created a makeshift studio in which Steenhuisen broadcasts himself to voters directly, sharing updates on lockdown, listening to concerns, and launching a raft of court cases challenging closures of beaches. None of them opened anything up. The July riots, coalition government future. This weekend, the DA will elect Steenhuisen's successor, and whoever inherits the party is in luck. According to the DA's own internal review, when Steenhuisen took the reins as interim leader in late 2019, the party support had plummeted 16%, and the DA faced likely disintegration. In the 2021 local government elections today, Social Research Foundation polling has the DA supported 28% and growing. Dream on. You're going to get destroyed by the Patriotic Alliance and the Freedom Front Plus. Wow. The Western Cape is not going somewhere. Have you been to Kailicha, Monenberg, Brockpan? Have you been to these places? Disaster areas. Mitchell's Plains, disaster area. Yep. Sheer number of delegates coming to our federal Congress is testament to many Steenhuisen guiding grew over the years. Guided? Who did he guide? Where is Emma Powell? Ryan Smith is the former chief of staff to federal leader John Steenhuisen and current DA spokesman on international relations and cooperation. That's Emma Powell's job. Why do you have that job? Because you're a sycophant with your head up the guy's backside. Emma Powell had that job. She was sent to America and then put out the pasture and betrayed by her own party. Andrew Whitfield, sent to America by his own party, acting in his personal stead, was put out the pasture by his corrupt party. Emma Powell went to Israel at the behest and direction and the told to go there by the Democratic Alliance, and screwed when Biz News ran into them and the DA lied about their performance. They're just liars. They're just practiced liars. They betray, they eat their young. They're like vultures. They eat their young. Oh, thank you, Sumeri. Yeah, it's gone downhill. Sound like Gordon's Bay have more and more homeless people crime. Yeah, Gordon's Bay. Yeah. People being accosted in pick and pay parking lots in Bloberg Strand. It's ridiculous. Yeah, this guy is so far up John Steenhuisen's backside, he's delusional. Ryan Smith. I've never met him. But the DA has betrayed Emma Powell, Andrew Whitfield, Ronaldo Chose, and John Steenhuisen personally betrayed Roman Kabanak. Yep. Hannes, take care. Didn't build a single thing. Western Cape is a nice paint job. Behind the paint is full of problems. Yeah, it's just a Potemkin village. Ladies and gentlemen, the Western Cape is a Potemkin village. It's the DA's Potemkin village. Ooh, look how nice it is. We have all these tourists. Have you been to the Cape Flats? Copper pipes are still. I'm sorry to hear that, Lana. Good Lord. Where are you at? Now, I don't often agree with... Well, that's not it. Where's it at? Kanana Hunter. Kanana Hunter says some of the most outrageous things, particularly when she opines about America, which she knows very little about. Kanana Hunter actually has a pretty good op-ed, an honest op-ed about John Steenhuisen, unlike that worthless, slathering slobber job we just read. Kanana Hunter is News 24's left-of-center rabid ideology. Steenhuisen stabilized the DA. The new leader must redefine the party. I think stabilized might be a fair statement, but then he let it after that. John Steenhuisen stabilized the DA when he inherited. But from 2019 to 2024, he didn't build the DA. And in 2024, he collapsed the DA. 28% my butt. They don't have 28%. Oh, Blauberry, Flamingo. Okay, thank you, Lana. What did John Steenhuisen achieve in his 6 years at the helm of the DA? That's a question hanging over the parties it gathers at Gallagher Estate this weekend to elect a new leader, and perhaps more importantly, to reset its political identity. The most obvious answer is that Steenhuisen oversaw the DA's entry into South Africa's first coalition government since '94. For a party that spent decades in opposition, which is no small feat, it placed the DA at the center of power. But was it all Steenhuisen? No, it wasn't. It was Helen Zilla and Tony Leon. Participation of the DA in the GNU was not hinged on him being the leader. I know that there are ANC leaders who will think the same. Yep. His election 2020 against Mbali Ntuli marked a decisive shift for the DA. It was a rejection of what many in the party began to call a failed experiment, promoting unqualified black leaders just to pretend that they're a multiracial party. Well, they are, but you don't have to promote unqualified black people to prove that you are. Brother went on holiday to Cape Town and says it's not the same as it was anymore. It used to be a different country. No, it's just like the rest of South Africa. It's collapsing. It's collapsing, and it's done it on the DA's watch. Stability but no growth. And that's what she says, and she's right. The much vaunted Moonshot Pact didn't materialize. Nothing came of it. It was just attention seeking. She says Hill Lewis enters the race with advantages Steve Heisen did not have. His executive governance experience as mayor of Cape Town, which gives him credibility beyond the parliamentary benches. He has a degree of public likability that has often eluded the DA's national leadership. I don't have any dislike of Jordan Hill Lewis, but his left of center and his beliefs are anathema to many people. And he's a product of the party's internal systems, having grown within its ranks and understanding its institutional DNA. But those advantages will mean little if they're not translated into a clear political project. I think the real question facing Hill Lewis is not whether he can lead the DA, but whether he can redefine it. For far too long, the DA struggled to articulate a vision that resonates beyond its core support. Its liberal identity, while coherent in theory, has often felt detached from the lived realities of many South Africans. Voters who are disillusioned with the ANC do not automatically migrate to the DA. When they do, they vote with a sense of repulsion. That's a mostly true statement. Yep. So, anyway, Kanana Hunter is actually onto something there, which is rare. Good to see she's onto something. Anyway. Sumeri says, I apologize, but like Colonel John brings that bad side of me because he's my boss and I see what he's doing to my industry. Been a French tour guide. He's been here 7 years. He sees the change in people. Yep. I see it. Every trip I make back to South Africa, things are demonstrably worse. They're more dangerous. People are more tense. They're more fearful. Every single time I go back to South Africa. Hill Lewis is a broken woke wanker, says DeBarn. Okay, now so many homeless and jobless people are. Yep. Hey, Road Captain Kev. Rudolph, good morning. How are you doing? Been absent for a while, still having car issues. Turned out what completely have to redo engine. Oh, that sucks. That sucks, Rudolph. Yep. Why elections held in Gauteng? I don't know. CBB, they can have them anywhere. Probably because it's the easiest way to get 2,000 delegates to show up, because it's the most populous province, and maybe a lot of the delegates came from there. So, stolen copper, man. Yeah, it's even the small towns like Gordons Bay have more and more homeless people. Crime is increasing, and roads are getting worse. Yeah, no, it's a Potemkin village. The Democratic Alliance has failed to capitalize on the dissatisfaction with the ANC and its failures. The Democratic Alliance continues to fail to leverage its resources. When Early B made a great video, thank you, Arina Griesel, for subscribing. When Early B made a fantastic video, My People Are Tired of Excuses, the DA failed to take advantage of it. It was a brilliant video, and it really resonated, but I had more views on my show playing that video than they did. I don't know if AFO Friday is loading for them. Let me see. Early B. Tired of excuses. Yeah, let's play this. It's time for a change. There it is.
We tired of excuses. Ek sê my people need solutions. Kyk die ons nodig verandering, nie mense wat kom.
Oh yeah, bring it on, Early B.
Nou hello, how you get the boodskap en ek sing dit manier. Moeg gekyk van hoe die negatiewe dinge gebeur. Kom in my plek, ek sal jou wys hoe dinge binne beweeg. En julle first hand experience gee van hoe ons hier leef. Kinders wil kinders wees, maar hulle die 'n paakie nie. Nou staan hulle op die korner met jongens so boere gangstertjies. Ons kla nou al vir jare oor die saak van ons dreine wat lek. Excuse me, what is a necessity? So yeah, pass with that. So many promises were made, but nothing like it received. They said they gonna build houses, haast nog how days a eve. Wat staan van 1980 something, I've give hope for my streets. Be the reflection of perfection. Don't stick out when it's just election.
Look at the wokesters from the DA all wearing masks. They're so in the tank for leftist oppression.
We're tired of excuses. My people want solutions.
Nou kyk jy ons toe die verandering, nie mense wat kom praat. Hier kom jy help met die change, weet nie dat die vote my mense jumpie.
We're tired of excuses.
mense wat kom praat, die kom help met die change. Wanneer na die woud my mense jump. Education's elevation to better the situation. And educators educate in a state of complication. The teachers on their knees in supplication. Wanna do their occupation with a breeze, master feel ventilation. But ek bedoel die klasse hier se vensters is uit. And we can barely pay our school fees, nou mens verblaai ook by. En kyk hier so, ek skool met kabeg, maar hy se geld toe iets hy. So voor jy...
Well, I agree with that sign. Dis tyd vir verandering. Yeah, it's definitely dis tyd vir verandering in the Western Cape. Yep. No, nonsense, Broken Arrow. Don't make excuses for the DA. They don't even address those issues.
Billboards en bordjies wil sien so die pensioen is uit. Geef vir die sassa regte reis en baby mamas better always. Sports and the arts need assistance in all ways. Bro, my people needs a difference in more ways than one. So as ons vote me net compromise nie man. Sien nie man.
We tired of excuses. My people want solutions.
Nou kyk die ons moet verandering. Nie mense wat kom praat, die kom help met die change. Wanneer na die vote my mense jumpy.
We tired of excuses. People want solutions.
Nou kyk die ons moet verandering. Nie mense wat kom praat, die kom help met die change. Wanneer na die vote my mense jumpy.
Change today. No, I won't look the other.
Change today. No more DA.
We wanna see a better day for you and me. Change today. No, I won't look the other way. We wanna see a better day for you and me.
So let's empower the community, create some opportunities. As potholes in die straat gee dit vir die ouens wat op die stoep sit. And truthfully, we need to lead with love, peace and unity. We tired of attending eulogies. So many aso praat die doen dit.
Hey, DA, Cape Town, Kaapstad, we're tired of excuses. Dis tyd vir verandering.
My people want solutions.
Nou kyk die ons moet verandering. Nie mense wat kom praat, die kom help met die change. Wanneer na die vote my mense jumpy.
We tired of excuses. People want solutions.
Nou kyk die ons moet verandering. Nie mense wat kom praat, die kom help met die change. Wanneer na die vote my mense jumpy.
Yeah, so that's from Early B, and the DA squandered that. It has, well, now it has 2.3 million views. Well, it's got more views than me then, but for the first year, it got nothing. It got nothing. I had more views on my videos playing it all the time. I'll probably have to delete after this, but yeah, sorry. I mean, but the DA has betrayed South Africa. They're virtually no difference between the ANC and them. They're just greedy for power. They're accomplishing nothing. Verandering sounds good when I say it. Well, thank you, Broken Arrow. Yeah, dis tyd vir verandering. Yeah. Singing and dancing does keep lights on. But look, that video was incredible. That video was incredible. That's a song that resonates with young people, resonates with me, not so young. And it was brilliant. It was brilliant. But instead of becoming the DA's theme song, they just squandered it. They put it on YouTube and that was it. They have no idea how to reach people. Their press conferences are a joke. Yeah, the Cape Colors are such unique people. Yeah, well, that's Eastern Cape there. They've taken lead from other party supporters and now the DA dancing party. Yeah. Swarming Cape Town is causing huge issues. Your Afrikaans is starting to be real impressive. My donkey. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I know it sounds German. I know. I sound German when I speak Afrikaans. Maar ek praat nie Afrikaans nie. Yep. Yeah. So look, I'm not beating up on the DA. I'm just exposing how they've behaved. You know, this was brilliant. Early B, popular rapper, fantastic music performer. Short dude, by the way, very short. I saw him on stage with Jack Parrow and Francois van Coke, man. He's really short, but they were rapping it, man. That was fantastic when I went to Pretoria East and I saw that concert. That was Francois van Coke. That was just awesome. Yeah, it's bearded ladies and dancing bears bring out the circus. Exactly. All right, Winnie Gen X, take care. Anyway, yeah, I'll get some rest here in a little bit. It's about an hour into it, so I think it's probably time for that. Anyway, I'm not trying to beat the DA up. I'm just, look, you know, they're tone deaf. They're completely tone deaf. They don't understand marketing. They claim they do. This guy, Ryan Smith, was in marketing. You guys don't know what marketing is. It's a disaster, an absolute disaster. Yeah. Would you like to meet my white Minister of Agriculture, by the way? Don't contribute to a better South Africa. They should take disapprentices off. I don't know if it's that bad. Yeah, no, look, I actively encourage people to vote for the DA in 2019, in 2024. But, you know, they just tone deaf. And they're cowardice in abandoning Emma Powell, Andrew Whitfield, and a host of other people whose names we don't know, Ronald Gos, Roman Kabanak. I don't blame the DA for that. That's John Steenhuisen. He's responsible for that. So should we take odds? Let's see. Now that he's no longer a party leader, let's see what you guys have to say, okay? Start a poll. How long, when will Cyril sack John Steenhuisen? Okay, let's see. I'll give you some options here. John Steenhuisen. He won't. Okay. Okay, then I got okay, you got 4 options. Okay, when will Cyril Ramaphosa sack his white Minister of Agriculture? Monday, and thank you for your info. You're very welcome. I did see earlier that Utopi said his daughter would do an interview. Thank you for that, Utopi. Give her my contact. Ask her to write to me, okay? You can give her my number. Don't you think they're playing nice so that they aren't hated as much by their ANC new Vader base? Perhaps CIA doesn't care about South Africa. Why do you guys think South Africa matters? It doesn't. Sorry, I love South Africa, but it doesn't matter to the U.S. government. The CIA has bigger fish to fry, like rescue down pilots in Iran. They don't care about influencing elections in South Africa. No. He won't. He's a useful idiot. Okay. Video clips. Okay, let me see. Okay, hang on a second here. Oh, there they are. Okay. Okay, that's the one where it's not chasing the duck. Toddlers, man. They're so wobbly when they walk. Okay, that one's not the one we want to see. That's not chasing the duck. Where's? Oh, here it is. Oh, those ugly. I hate those ducks. Neither one of these are the duck. You said it was video of him chasing the duck. I got a picture of him looking at the duck. Jemblick says, but they're not the only party that can oppose the ANC. Not. No, they're not. The Patriotic Alliance and the Freedom Front Plus will oppose the ANC, and they'll pick up much more in the way of votes in municipal elections. In fact, the elections will turn in some towns on the PA turnout, and the Freedom Front Plus we'll see what happens. And it says, I'm proud to have never voted for and never will vote for the DA. Okay. All right. Cool. What else we got over here? It would be to the USA's benefit to befriend and control the next government and help you guys with raw materials. The DA is not the next government of South Africa. Dude, we got a long way to 2029. A long way. A long way to Tipperary. A long way to 2029. South Africa may not survive that long. Yeah, so the DA is not South Africa's next government. It may win some municipalities, but in the last elections, we saw them lose in 2019? Yeah, they lost, or 2021 municipal elections. They lost. And I encourage people to vote for the DA. They lost many municipalities in the Western Cape that they once controlled. Yeah, they lost a lot of their majority, evaporated in Cape Town. They went down to just 57% of the vote. Yeah, no, they did not impress. Yeah, the next election is going to be a free-for-all. It's going to be absolute chaos. Yeah. Broken Arrow says Freedom Front Plus much better. Yeah, no, I encouraged Peter Groenewald, which he was already doing, to seek out other voters who are conservative. There are millions of conservative black South Africans. Why aren't you getting them to your party? And they've been making concerted efforts. look at it this way. Any other party haven't had more than 20%. They're the only opposition, except they're not opposition, Great Maine. The Democratic Alliance is part and parcel of the colonial oppression of South Africans with the imposition of the Basic Education Laws Amendment Act. And their education minister is the one that is implementing it, Siviwe Garuba. This is oppressing Afrikaans, Xhosa, Venda, Zulu, Tswati, Tswana children forced to learn colonial English when they go to school. The DA is part and parcel of the Expropriation Without Compensation Act. They are in the government when this became the rule and the law of the land. They are part and parcel to the national, provincial, and municipal theft of lawfully acquired land. They are part and parcel to it. The Democratic Alliance is not in opposition. The Democratic Alliance is part and parcel to the national health insurance communist takeover of the private sector, which will destroy what's left of South Africa's healthcare. The Democratic Alliance is part and parcel to the racist Employment Equity Act amendment, which will exclude white males from upper management simply on the basis of racial oppression. The DA is part of this. They've done nothing about it. They've spoken nothing about it. The DA is part and parcel of the ANC's foreign policy and the GNU of supplying weapons of destruction, war, to a UN-sanctioned warlord in Benghazi in violation of UN sanctions. The ANC and the DA are part of it. The DA is part of the ANC government that opposed and brought this frivolous lawsuit in the ICJ against Israel. The DA is part and parcel of the government that is responsible for the violation of so many basic rights of humans. The DA is the party in Cape Town responsible for not stopping the theft of the Tygerberg Raceway. I could go on for hours here. Hours. They're not in opposition. They're part of the government of national unity. The DA is not an opposition party. That's a fantasy. Once upon a time they were. They're not now. It doesn't matter if they have 20% or 30% in opposition. They're not. They're part and parcel of the government oppressing the people of South Africa, black, white, and brown. The AA promised a lot and delivered fuck all. Yep. Good night, Angela Mills. I didn't see you chat here, but welcome. Are to the benefit of those legal unions. Luckily, we don't be around for much longer, so don't care, okay? Okay, so look, I'm not trying to argue with you, grade mate. And I'm not here to hate on the DA. It may sound like that. I'm just giving you the facts. The DA doesn't even address these concerns. When confronted with these concerns, they don't even address it. And their cowardly party leader is a person who reneges on interviews 14 times, something like that. I lost count. Promised to come on. Never did. Never did. Why? Because he's afraid of real questions. I mean, like, were you embarrassed when Cyril Ramaphosa in the Oval Office introduced you as his white agriculture minister? Didn't that seem a bit pedantic, condescending, and maybe even a little racist? That would be a question I would ask him. He won't answer that question. I gave him an opportunity to get in front of the foot and mouth disease in May of 2025. April and May of 2025. I invited him on the program. His PA said he'll come on. Never came on. Came up with an excuse, and it was a reasonable excuse because something happened in South Africa, and he said, I can't do it. She said he can't do it now. We'll schedule for later. Scheduled for later that week. Didn't show. Left me hanging. I wrote and said, hey, what happened? Oh, we'll do it next week, this day. Never happened. Oh, stop. I'm sick of this guy. Oh, Gray Mate said, no. I see your point. I'm just trying to get why the DA is committing. They're committing suicide because their party leaders, many of them, are not genuine people. They don't even back their own people. Look what they did to Emma Powell. They sent her to Israel, and then they pretended that they didn't know anything about her trip there. Then they sent her to the United States, and then they punished her for going to the United States at their behest. That's the DA. They betray their own. That's who they are. And I can go through case after case after case. And I'm not even a South African, and I know this. Thank you for your membership for 13 months, David Furry. Speak to Rob about getting him for truth. You mean get John Steenhuisen on the Truth Report? He's not going to come on the Truth Report. Maybe he'll talk to Rob Herself, but he's not going to talk to me. Tried my best by voting correctly to fix this country. Went south much quicker than expected. We're done, says Rudolph. Yep. Kurtz Verhoeven says Ferreyes. I can't disagree with that. Ferreyes. No, I mean, it's the DA is so disappointing. When Tony Leon built that party from nothing into a small growth, and then Helen Zille, the most exciting politician in the world at the time as the mayor of Cape Town, she took over that party and she raised it to heights. Its biggest outcome was 4,004,000 votes in 2014. That is now a dozen years in the rearview mirror. The DA has never come close to that. Despite the fact that there are millions more eligible voters, they have failed to do more. But John Steenhuisen and the DA leadership will try to hoodwink you and say, we're the only party that grew. You didn't grow. You didn't grow. But we have more percentage. Yes, on a smaller voting base. You failed to turn out voters. The only reason you have that percentage is because the ANC lost voters. You lost 100,000 voters and got a slightly higher percentage. That's not success. That's not success. That's failure of epic proportions. You should be increasing your roll number of votes, not worrying about percentages. You went from 4,004,000 votes under Helen Zille in 2014. In 2019, you achieved 3.6 million under Musi Maimani. And under John Steenhuisen, you got only 3.5 million in 2024. Yet you claim that your party is growing. It's poppycock. It's balderdash. It's bullshit. It's total bullshit. Yeah, they're growing like your economy is. Exactly. Yeah, like South Africa's economy is growing. That's how they're growing. Yep. I don't know what's going on in your phone, Meerkat. The poll is done the way it's always done. I don't write it in any color. I just type what they put up there. Anyway. Trader, a lot of them. Didn't mock my sick. Ik wense die land kon vrijheid zijn. I wish the land could see true freedom. Yeah, I wish it could too. Yep. Yep. Hey, Odin's Viking, what's going on? All right, how many votes? We got 88 votes, so it's not quite. I'm trying to get to 100. Colonel can correct me if I'm wrong, but after you become a green card holder after a year, you may be able to get your son to reunite with you in the U.S. I'm not sure why you're waiting a year. Is he not linked? Is he? I don't understand. Botched poll. I couldn't read the poll also white. The poll is not botched, Lana. There's something wrong with your phone. Everyone else is voting. 90 people voted just fine. And the text is not white. It's black on my screen. I can see black text. I don't know what you're talking about. There's something wrong with your phone. It's not a botched poll. There's nothing wrong with the poll. There are 4 good questions. Such a German Afrikaans accent. Well, thank you for that. Ja, das Problem ist, dass natürlich die erste Fremdsprache für mich, das heißt Deutsch. Also als Amerikaner, also meine Muttersprache ist natürlich Englisch. Und als junger Mann habe ich Deutsch selbst gelernt. Und das war das erste Fremdsprache. Und dann später habe ich Afrikaans selbst gelernt. Und das Problem ist, dass also für mich, also die Aussprache ist immer phonetic. Deswegen, wenn ich auf Afrikaans spreche, ich sehe die Buchstaben und die Buchstaben sind A und so weiter. Und deswegen benutze ich die Aussprache wie ein Deutscher. Ja, das ist das Gleiche, also das gleiche Ding also mit Swahili. Wenn ich auf Swahili spreche, das ist ja auch phonetic. Und zum Beispiel, Gino Langoni Chris, Mimi Anaka, Pennsylvania. Yeah, so that's the problem. On my phone, the text was white as well and very hard to read. I was wondering if it's maybe a YouTube thing, man. I didn't make the color. It's not a Zippation party. In my opinion, there's no DA anymore. It's just extension ANC's arm. Yep. Okay, yes, Colonel, speak Afrikaans to us. Trevor says European languages are awesome. Yeah, well, maybe. Lana's renting out space in her garage to survive. Okay, but I guess people won't be able to shower. They stole your copper pipes. That sucks. Anyway, all right, guys. Yeah, so Woop nie dit is mechanic wat ek ken nie. Okay. What are you talking about? Whoop. Whoop is not a planning factor, Chris Murray. What is whoop? Joe Black. Jules says, stop speaking Greek to me. I'm speaking Afrikaans. Whoop. It's hope. I don't know how you get whoop. It's spelled H. Should be hope. Hoop. Should be hoop, but it's whoop. Switch to night mode on your phone. There you go. We complain about the Cape. The rest of the country is 10 times worse. Can be grateful. It's a huge migration, Western Cape in all parts. Insurance fixed. Only laundry still to be connected. Okay. Cool, Lana. I would set up a 10,000 volt, charge for them. Next time they touch it, let them electrocute themselves. Trapped in Europe, came back to Cape Town, said even worse in Europe, and then returned to Greece. Can't save $2. Returned to South Africa. Tells me buy property to rent out while doing refugee program. Sounds like he's confused. Good morning, the other Johan, not the... That's good, Div. Oh, my day's about to start. Colonel, get some sleep, and thanks for all you've done. Missed my night, Alice. So happy to be back. Just another girl. You should have learned Dutch before German. Then you could speak Dutch, Afrikaans, and German. Yeah, well, the problem with speaking Dutch is Dutch, man. Yep. Anyway, all right. So let me end the poll. We got 100 votes, 101. So we'll stop it there. And I think most of you are saying they won't fire him. He won't fire him. 54%, 32% is that. I'm going to think my position at the moment. My guess is he's going to sack him after municipal elections. And it'll be a retribution because he brought nothing to the ANC, which is what they wanted. Oh, I always have a German accent. I don't hear it. You guys are the ones that hear it, but I mean, that's I'm not going to deny it. I mean, so. El-Marie, I do see you. Do you see me? Meerkat says the Colonel speaks Afrikaans because he's the Burmese whisperer. Can't speak American. Whoop! Nit dit was meken. Why you typed it again? What's going on? Charles says, I see you. Ekwacho. Jared, been loving the content. Usually watching TV, so don't always comment. Just big thank you. Thank you, Jared, from Houston. Welcome. We should get you on the channel for an interview as well. I got a lot of interviews coming up, folks. Please be patient if you sent me something. I'm just trying to get the names together, all those who are ready for interviews, but I mean, I can't really do most of them right now. DNC's taking the heat of ANC with John and his ministry. Yep. Good morning, Knuffelkop. Jellyfish is a useful pawn to silence a certain leftist part in the minority. Good morning, Hetty McCarthy. Good to see you again. Guys, I do have to go with the audience 153. I apologize, but I do need to get some rest tonight. It's 12:19. I haven't eaten. I'm going to go heat up my Maryland crab soup. Hopefully it'll be good. And I'm going to get some crisp, or as we say, potato chips to go along with it. And I'll get myself some tea, and I'm going to get some sleep before I have my interview with the gentleman. Now, so, misspelled name wrong. Okay, got it. Okay. I didn't understand that. So, tomorrow morning, today, for South Africans, early this morning here, I will be interviewing Ruben, who is a refugee aspirant who feels that he's been left behind in the October-November group, and he's concerned and he's frustrated. So we're going to talk to him. I didn't ask him to come on. I didn't seek this out. I generally don't talk to refugee aspirants in South Africa because I don't want to risk their safety, but he's comfortable. He wants to do this. He wants the world to see what's going on. So I will do that. Okay. We'll do that. Afrikaans is Durban accent, since not many Afrikaans speakers who are from Durban North. Okay, Karen. All right. Okay, so you'll see that. The link is on the channel, okay? Should be an interesting one, Trevor. I agree. You're welcome, Stephen Nordkia. Yep. And that's another one. How do you get Nordkia out of that? I mean, it's spelled Norchi. That's Stephen Norchi, but it's Nordkia, so it's Dutch. That's where it came from. All right, everybody. Be well. Thanks. Take care. Nice seeing you here. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done it already. I'm going to go heat up my soup. Thankfully, microwaves work. So I don't have to cook. All right. Cheers, everybody. Night.